What if the only church in Israel built and maintained by a sub-Saharan African nation isn't a recent missionary outpost, but a 1,500-year-old monastic fortress of faith, perched on the very roof of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre? While the world overlooks Africa's role in the birth of Christianity, Ethiopia has never left Jerusalem. From the time of the Queen of Sheba to the monks of Deir, es-Sultan, Ethiopian Orthodox Christians have kept a sacred flame alive in the heart of the Holy Land, the only enduring Black African Christian presence in Israel. This is not diaspora nostalgia. It is divine continuity. But before continuing, please subscribe to my channel. It is a big deal to me, but a matter of a single click to you. Long before Europe heard the gospel, Africa was already answering God's call. The Ethiopian eunuch in Acts 8, the first Gentile convert, was not an anomaly. He was the fulfillment of a promise. Ethiopia shall soon stretch out her hands unto God. Psalm 68, verse 31. As a high official of Queen Candace, he returned home not just baptized, but bearing the seeds of a church. By the 4th century, under King Ezana of Aksum, Ethiopia became the second nation in the world to adopt Christianity as a state religion, after Armenia, but as the first Black Christian civilization. This wasn't spiritual tourism, it was theological sovereignty. Ethiopian monks didn't come to Jerusalem as visitors. They came as heirs of a covenant, forged when Queen Makeda recognized the God of Solomon. Their presence wasn't permission-based, it was prophetic inheritance. And so, by the 5th century, Ethiopian monastics began settling in the Holy Land, establishing communities that would survive empires, crusades, and occupations. The Kabra Nagast affirms this divine link. Jerusalem's wisdom was given to Sheba, and through her, to Ethiopia, a spiritual dowry sealed in blood and faith. In the Ethiopian Orthodox worldview, Jerusalem is not foreign soil. It is the mother of Aksum's faith. Just as the Ark of the Covenant was brought to Ethiopia by Menelik I, so too did Ethiopian pilgrims carry Jerusalem's prayers back to their highlands. The Book of Jubilees, canonized only in Ethiopia, teaches that God apportioned nations to angels, but gave Cush, Ethiopia, to no lesser being than his own divine mercy. Jubilees 8:20-21. Thus, their claim to Jerusalem is not political, but cosmic, rooted in the very architecture of creation. Watch the video till the end. The next part will astonish you. Today, Ethiopia maintains 4 key religious sites in Israel, centered in and around Jerusalem, the only sub-Saharan African nation with such a presence. The heart of this community is Kidanim Merit Church on Hanavayim Street in West Jerusalem. Built in 1893 by Emperor Johannes IV, its circular, concentric design mirrors the ancient churches of Lalibela, a piece of Ethiopia transplanted into the holy city. Here, Guizi chants echo daily, and pilgrims from Addis Ababa to Gondar gather for Timkat and Easter. Inside, every mural, every cross, every liturgical movement declares, "We belong here." But the most audacious claim lies not on the ground, but on the rooftop. Deir, es-Sultan, perched above the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, is one of Christianity's most contested holy sites. For over 1,500 years, Ethiopian monks have lived in its tiny cells, enduring cold, siege, and legal battles. Their presence here fulfills a line from the Ethiopian Jeremiah, "My servants shall dwell in the highest places of Zion." Jeremiah 38 verse 12, Ethiopian version. Though only 5 to 10 monks remain, their vigil is unbroken, a silent witness that Africa has a throne in the heart of Christendom. Beyond Jerusalem, Ethiopia's reach extends to Qasr al-Yahud, the traditional site of Jesus' baptism on the Jordan River. There, the Ethiopian monastery of the Holy Trinity, built in the 1930s by Empress Uditu, stood abandoned for decades after 1967, mined and forgotten. But demined in the 2020s, it is being restored. The Book of Jubilees calls the Jordan the river of covenant renewal, Jubilees 16:27, making this site spiritually essential. Soon, pilgrims may again gather where Africa meets the Jordan, just as the eunuch once did. But, before continuing, please subscribe to my channel. It is a big deal to me, but a matter of a single click to you. No other sub-Saharan African nation has a continuous, institutional Christian presence in Israel. Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, despite vibrant churches, have no historic buildings, no monastic orders, no centuries-old claims in Jerusalem. Only Ethiopia. This isn't coincidence. It's historical fact. Africa, specifically Ethiopia, was not a recipient of Christianity, but a co-architect of its early global expression. From the Council of Nicaea, where an Ethiopian bishop may have attended, to the defense of orthodoxy against heresies, Ethiopia stood as a black pillar of the faith. Yet Western narratives often paint Christianity as a European gift to Africa. The truth is inverted. Africa gave Christianity its first black sovereign church, its first African Bible, Nguizi, and one of its most resilient monastic traditions. The Ethiopian churches in Israel are physical proof, not of marginality, but of centrality. They say, "We were never on the periphery. We helped build the center." The Book of Jubilees, preserved only in Gizi, insists that wisdom was given to all nations, but perfected in those who seek justice, like the Queen from the south. Ethiopia's canon, 81 books compared to the Western 66, includes texts that center Africa in cosmic history. In 1 Enoch, written in the 3rd century BCE and preserved only in Ethiopia, the sons of God descend not just to Mesopotamia, but to the mountains of the south. 1 Enoch 6:6. The Ethiopian church sees itself not as an offshoot, but as the guardian of primordial truth. Their presence in Jerusalem is thus not just historical. It is eschatological, a sign that Ethiopia shall stretch out her hands until the final day. But before continuing, please subscribe to my channel. It is a big deal to me, but a matter of a single click to you. Today, around 2,000 Ethiopian Orthodox faithful, monks, nuns, pilgrims, and a few permanent residents keep this flame alive. Every Easter, thousands more arrive from Ethiopia and the diaspora, flooding Kidana Merit and climbing to Deir es-Sultan for the midnight resurrection service. Their presence is both devotional and defiant, a quiet insistence that Black African spirituality belongs in the cradle of monotheism. For them, the Kabra Nagast is not myth, it is memory made flesh. Yet challenges remain. Access to Deir es-Sultan is often restricted due to disputes with other Christian denominations. The Khazar al-Yahud monastery is still not fully operational. And the Ethiopian Israeli Jewish community, descendants of Beta Israel, worships separately, creating a complex religious landscape. Still, the Orthodox Tewahedo Church endures, not as a relic, but as a living bridge between Aksum and Zion. Their chant of Kaides, the liturgy, has echoed in these stones longer than most European churches have existed. For Ethiopian Orthodox believers, these churches are not museums, they are living altars. Each feast, Timkat, Meskel, Fasika, Easter, renews the covenant. The Book of Jubilees commands, "Remember the place where the covenant was made." Jubilees 14:20. Jerusalem is that place. And so, generation after generation returns, not as tourists, but as children coming home. In a world that still questions Black spiritual authority, their very presence is a hymn of belonging. But before continuing, please subscribe to my channel. It is a big deal to me, but a matter of a single click to you. The Ethiopian Orthodox churches in Israel are more than stone and mortar. They are acts of memory, declarations of dignity, and proof that Africa shaped sacred history from the beginning. In a world that still questions Black spiritual authority, Ethiopia's monks on the rooftop of Christ's tomb say, "We have always been here." From the eunuch of Acts to the monks of Deir es-Sultan, the thread is unbroken, a golden cord stretching from Jerusalem to Aksum. This legacy is not for Ethiopia alone. It is a gift to the African diaspora, a reminder that our ancestors were not only enslaved, but also kings, queens, theologians, and guardians of the Ark. The Ethiopian canon, with its 15 extra books, restores voices the West silenced. Their churches in Israel are a physical manifesto. Africa is not peripheral to faith, it is foundational. And as long as one monk prays on that rooftop, the promise stands. Ethiopia shall stretch out her hands unto God. So the next time you hear of Jerusalem's holy sites, remember, on its holiest rooftop, an African monk prays. And in his voice, you hear the echo of the Queen of Sheba, the eunuch of Candace, and the unbroken faith of a people who never needed Europe to find God, because they met him in Jerusalem long ago. This is not history lost. It is identity reclaimed. And in the fullness of time, all will see. Ethiopia was, is, and shall be a light unto Zion. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, share, and like to encourage me produce further similar videos.